guys, welcome back to the RC store. My name's Ammo. Check out what I got on the desk today. This is my USA inspired drag car. Now if you haven't seen the previous video to this, be sure to check it out. I'm going to put a link just up here in the corner. We do an initial shakedown test, and the whole purpose of that video was to see what goes wrong, what needs correcting, and it's maiden run. So the car had never ever touched tarmac before that. It was his first run, and we only managed to get 3 hits. Now in them 3 hits, every single hit that I ran, I got better numbers. Unfortunately, it ended very soon at 2.45 seconds. Now, being completely honest, for something that's just been built, not been tuned, not been messed around with, not adjusted any settings on the controller, 2.45 seconds is quite quick. Now, yes, it ain't the fastest. I totally agree. If it was a second quicker, it'd be absolutely astonishing. However, we can try to reach that. Now, what I'm going to do is, now that I know the issues with the car, in this video, I'm going to actually correct the issues, and then we will go out for a run and let's see if we can beat that 2.45. Now, the whole idea of this build is, currently on the journey, is to learn the car. It's not about going out there on the first run and hitting 1.5 seconds and calling it a day. It's all a learning curve. Now, there's many things in the RC hobby that I have been doing behind the scenes. For example, RC drifting, and I haven't recorded the full journey because I'm actually learning. I'm spending time and concentrating on how to perfect my turns. So if that's something you guys want to see, drop me a comment below. I will start putting some more videos in of me learning. But I know a lot of you guys in the comments have turned around and said, oh, well, that ain't quick, or this ain't that. And it's not meant to be. You guys need to understand it's a process. It's a journey that I'm going through, and I'm sharing it with you guys. So what I'm going to do is, first thing first, take off this body shell, and I'm going to install some upgraded parts. Now, the Iron Man motor mount that I've got in here didn't quite work for me. Though it's fully closed off, the pinion just wasn't meshed correctly and it still spun off. So I wrecked the spur totally on this car. So what I've got here is an answer. This is the Roto Lock from Scorched Parts. This thing's absolutely fantastic. I use these in all my speedrun cars. And you also get the one with dual motor mount, so you can run 2 motors as well if that's something you wanted to do in speedrunning. So huge shout out to Scorched Parts. If you want to know where to pick this up from, be sure to check out the link in the description. Also the website scrolling across the bottom just here. Also, whilst I was out shopping at Scorched, I picked up a brand new pinion. Also, we picked up a brand new spur as well. So that will be going on. So without further ado, let's bring the camera in. I'll show you this with the body off, then I'll start doing the modifications before we go out and get some runs. Now, the temperature here in the UK has risen. We're looking about 34 to 36 degrees centigrade. That's almost like between 90 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's absolutely scorching, so I'm going to have to wait till the evening before we get a hit on this because it's just way too hot out there. So this is the current motor mount, as you guys can see, the Iron Man motor mount. Now, I will try and get the camera angle in so you can see what's actually happened. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. I might have to put this on an awkward angle to show you guys. Nah, I don't think I'm going to get it. But basically what's happened is this motor mount is basically pushed in as far as it can go, as you guys can see there. And the meshing just ain't right. And it spun this pinion and the spur. So it's actually ruined the spur. You can see some teeth there have been flattened. So what I'm going to do is rip all this out and put in the new motor mount. So in order to do this, I am going to have to remove this whole top brace to get access to this motor mount, and then get the motor out, get the spool out, and then start installing the new one and transferring things across. The new Roto Lock motor mount is all in place. I have changed the spur. You can see the old spur here, how bad it's ground up. So the car's all back together again, as you guys can see. The new motor mount's installed. However, the actual spur we had to change, so the gear ratio is completely different. So I don't know how this is going to go this time. So it's not like I'm working off the last video, which is a shame. Now what's happened is The actual spur was a 38 tooth spur on here. Now what I was finding is, though I geared it up by 1 tooth to a 27 tooth pinion, it wasn't lining up. The meshing wasn't correct, and the only way to get it correct was to up the actual spur. So what I've had to do is put a 48 tooth spur on, and I kept the same pinion. I don't know what the ratios are going to be like, so in theory I have down geared it. Though the pinion's gone higher and the spur's gone higher, it's technically down geared it. So this should have faster acceleration, less top speed, which means more wheel spin, I guess. But let's see how we get on with this. So we're back at the location to try and run this 132 feet. Now, I did have to change all the gear ratios, as you guys have seen. However, on the bright side, the sun's going down. It's just gone 8:30 p.m. Temperature's about 28 degrees centigrade, which is going to work in our favor because them tires should hook up. What I'm going to do, because we've changed everything, I'm going to give it a bit of a test run. Over there you can see a little arrow. That's roughly 132 feet, and that's from about here. So we're going to give it a bit of a test run because I need to see what the braking's like, and once we've done that, I'm going to absolutely send it. Right, so I've got the car tracked up, I've got the braking there or thereabouts. I'm going to start this GPS unit. So we're going to drag 132 feet. It's ready to go. Let's see what it pulls on a mild run. Seemed a lot faster on acceleration, to be fair. A lot of smoke, as you can see from the tires. Right, it really gets your heart thumping, that does. Right, let's see what she's pulled. Right, let's read. 2.41. So we've already beat our previous time, and we had a slower max speed. Right, we're going to go for run number 2. Right, I am letting off the power a lot sooner than I should, to be fair. I should let it run just slightly steeper. Read that. Right, drag 132 feet. We're going again. Right, there's a car that's pulled in. The more I'm running the car, the more comfortable I'm getting with it. You guys got to bear in mind, I've only had 3 runs with this prior to today. So it's completely new to me in terms of this actual vehicle. But let's read again. 2.45, but the speed is down. Right, so we've beat our PB, like I said. I need to get that initial hit a bit more linear, I think. Right, now's where the tuning comes in. So I've just messed around with my handset and done some tuning on the throttle. We're gonna try and see if that's made a difference. So 132 feet, here we go. Right, let's see what that pulled. That was a hard launch, and it moved. Now I need to give a huge shout out to Mason over in the USA. He knows who he is. He's actually helping me out as we speak. He's on the other end of Instagram, and he's messaging me constantly with updates and things to try out. So let's see what this has pulled. 2.25. Yes, get in there. Absolutely buzzing about that. Going to the low 2s. Let's see if we can approach the high 1s. Drag 132 feet. Right to the bottom there. Right, let's see what that one's pulled. Read 2.32, so it's gone a bit slower. Top speed there at 72 miles an hour. Massive improvement in that distance. Now some bit more tuning to be done on the controller. Right, just played with some transmitter settings now. We're gonna go again. Let's see if we can get a better run. 132 feet. Right, let's see how she does. That was quick. He did step out a bit there on the power. So on that tune, where the car is about now. You've seen it step sideways. I'm trying to eliminate that and just get a clean shot. But for what it's worth, let's see what she done. All right, read. 227 at 73 mile an hour. Some more tuning going on behind the scenes here on the transmitter. All right, let's see if we can beat this now. All right, drag 132 feet. It's a clear run. Whoa, 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 whoa. I can barely see it. Just about saved that. Wow, that tune was spicy. Wow. That sure did not want to stop on that top end. Wow. Let's read. Come on. 2.31 and a slower top speed. So I think the issue with that tune was it kept spinning. Reconfigured the tune again. Let's try again. Drag 132 feet. Come on, Arrow. Get in the high ones. Come on. Just about perfecting that tune now. We're getting quicker. All right, read. 2.2, yes! New PB, absolutely incredible. Drag 132 feet. Here goes. All right, that was quick. That was arrow straight. Seemed absolutely mint on that run. Probably one of the cleanest runs I've done. But the proof is in one thing, which is the time. Let's just stop the car. Like I said, the proof is here. Will it beat 2.2? Come on. No, so close. Oh, wow. What a fantastic run. We absolutely smashed today. Broke a fair few PBs. Some fantastic results. Now, the things that I did notice were in that run, towards the start, yes, we smashed the PB on the first go. The second run, it weren't as great. We were finding there was a lot of wheel spin. And then we started dialing in the controller. Now, once we started dialing in the controller, yes, we smashed the PB of a personal best of 2.2 seconds. And a huge shout out to Mason that's been helping me all the way from the USA on the actual tune. Now, that is absolutely incredible, but we're not finished there. Guys, there's still so much to do. I've still got prep to put down. I've still got to try the BSR red tires, which I believe are like 18 shore, where these are like 25 shore. There's so much more I can still do to get this faster. Now, up until now, you guys have seen my journey and seen what I've done. However, one thing that had let this down on that run and stopped it from getting to the high ones or even a smack bang 2 second run was the battery voltage. By the time we really started getting this dialed in, the battery voltage probably dropped to like between 50 to 60%. So what happens then is, obviously, when the car is pulling and the ESC is calling for the amps, the battery then sags because it ain't got the full capacity. I think the tune is dialed in. Now, next step for this, I'll probably give it a run with the exact tune as it is on a fresh pack and see, just like that, if we can smash that 2.2 seconds. Then I think what we're going to do is start dialing in the suspension, get that time even quicker. Then we will go over and put the BSR reds on, get that time even quicker, and only then we will then add prep, which will basically make this car launch like there's no tomorrow. I am finding that around 60 to 70 mile an hour, I am getting wheel spin. That's something I need to sort out and eradicate. But other than that, what a weapon this is. Now, a lot of you guys that ain't watched no prep and this is your first time, just bear in mind that this is not easy to get your car to go this quick. Guys over in the USA have been doing this for many, many years. Yes, you guys are absolutely smashing it. You got all the sauce, you know, all the secrets. Here over in the UK, people are just running standard infractions and pulling 3 seconds. I know there's been a few comments on the last video where somebody actually mentioned that their infraction was doing 2.4 seconds stock out the box. Dude, if that's correct, absolutely incredible result. I couldn't get my Limitless to do a 2.4 second out the box on stock tires, etc. But if you're pulling them speeds, absolutely fantastic. Do bear in mind, I am running foams on this. I am only running 6S, and the temperature was 27 degrees centigrade, and I'm still getting wheel spin. So if you're running Hoons and you're not getting no wheel spin and you're getting them speeds, hats off to you. But yeah, like I said, absolute incredible result for myself. This is way quicker than my Typhon drag car. I think this is absolutely amazing, and the road has not finished. Guys, be sure to tune in for the next update videos on this particular car. There will be a bit of a break now before I do the next run, but when I do the next run, be sure to see a flat 2 seconds or a high 1 second run. Absolutely incredible, enjoying the journey. Can't thank everyone that's helped me on this journey enough. Mike from Onyx Power Systems over in the UK, thank you so much for obviously supplying the whole industry with some absolute amazing batteries. I will put a link in the description on where you can pick them up from. Huge shout out to David at Scorched Parts once again. Absolutely smashed it with this platform. This chassis is absolutely sick. And a huge shout out to you as well for helping me along my journey with majority of my RC cars, to be fair, when it comes to speed running and drag racing. I will put a link to Scorched's website in the description as well. Guys, if you've enjoyed this content, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to smash that notification button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.